Okay, morning everyone. Welcome to another webinar on Beyond Privilege. Today we are with Akhilesh and Gautam, who are Associate Directors at Synergy Consulting, and they're going to come on and talk about the company and the various sort of things they've done in their career and, some training things that they're also doing. So if we can get started and, have a little bit of background about who Synergy are, I think that'd be really interesting. And
Thanks, Jack, for that. Maybe I'll start with the introduction of the uh, a bit of background about the Synergy Consulting. I have a presentation prepared which I'll just share on screen for everyone's benefit. Thanks, Jack, for that. Maybe I'll start with the introduction of a bit of background about the Synergy Consulting. I have a presentation prepared which I'll share on screen. Thanks, Jack, for that. Maybe I'll start with the introduction. So maybe just to start, Synergy Consulting is a global infrastructure and project finance advisory firm. We provide advisory services across project finance as well as corporate advisory services. We focus on number of different sectors as well as different geographies. Our client includes both public clients, which are government clients, as well as private sector clients, the developers whom we support throughout the transaction from the initiation phase till the financial close. Synergy also supports in leading, structuring as well complex transactions in the infrastructure space. Synergy generally started with our first office in US when we were founded in 2002, and now after 20 more than 20 years, we have 14 global offices across six different continents throughout the different geographies. We have worked on number of we have worked across different countries, so we have almost covered 80 plus project countries where we have provided our advisory services. Through this journey, we have also done number of different engagements. We have almost completed 1,000 plus engagements till date across different sectors and geographies. At the moment, we are supporting almost 130 plus projects across different team members. Just to add, we have our biggest office is located in New Delhi, which has almost 150 team members, and in total across the 14 global offices, we have 250 plus team members who are providing different advisory services. We have an office in UAE, we have an office in Uzbekistan, which caters to our Central Asia region. We also have an office in Ireland and London, which caters to our European clients. And then we have a couple of offices within Africa, which is in South Africa, as well as Morocco, which we recently opened last year to cater to the African region. As highlighted, we provide project finance advisory services where we support in raising debt to our client. And currently, we have achieved financial close for almost 100 plus billion of billion worth of deals across different projects. Merger and acquisition is also one of the biggest vertical for us, and we have provided both buy side as well as sell side advisory services to our client. In total, we have closed almost 8 billion worth of M&A deals through our journey till now. We this is done through our relationship with various clients, private side clients, government side clients, as well as the relationship that we have developed with various financial institutions. We almost have 450 plus clients which are catered, which are distributed between private clients, government clients, including utilities, ministries, as well as the financial institutions. We also have a relationship with number of financial institutions, which helps us in raising the financing for our client. So basically, this is divided into three sections: commercial banks, which are basically international, as well as regional and local banks, and we almost have 120 plus banks with whom we deal on different basis for the project. We also have relationship with various development finance institutions, including multilateral development banks such as IFC, ADB, AFDB, EBRD, and also bilateral DFIs such as Proparco, DG, and BII, and other type of DFIs. We also have relationship with various ECAs, export credit agencies, which also helps in the large scale infrastructure projects. Here I'll just cover briefly about the various advisory services that we provide. So the project finance, that's the biggest vertical that we have, and where we provide financing solutions to all kinds of infrastructure projects. We also support in the bid advisory services, both on the government side as well as on the private side. On the government side, we support client on the feasibility studies as well as conducting the tender process, and supports them till the completion of financial close, where we support them on negotiation with the private contractor, the bid management, etc. We also support on the private side as well on the bid advisory, where we support our client in those tender process, including financial modeling, in debt raising, project documents, etc. The next services that we provide are financial restructuring, where we normally support during the operation phase and restructuring the debt, normally for the stressed asset which are not able to cover their current debt. In this vertical, we also help them in financial or refinancing of the current debt that they may have, which would help in optimizing their overall returns. The next vertical, we focus on M&A. As highlighted, we have done number of M&A deals on the buy side as well as sell side advisory, which includes your valuation as well as commercial due diligence, submission of binding offer, and then execution of contract. We have project development and advisory services also, where we provide end-to-end development services to our client, which starts from pre-development phase until the implementation of the project, or the implementation of the infrastructure project. We also support our clients on financial due diligence, which basically covers your commercial due diligence, identifying the risk and how to make that transaction bankable. As highlighted, we do a number of financial, or we provide financial modeling services, not just preparation of financial model, but review of financial model as well, based on industry practices, international standards. Government advisory is another vertical that we have at Synergy, where we support the government companies, utilities, ministries in conceptualizing the project, in pre-feasibility, tendering process, in the implementation of project, as well as negotiation with the private partner till financial close. Training is another vertical we focus a lot on. We have done number of trainings for our various clients, private sector as well as government sectors, on the project finance, bid advisory, and other verticals of project finance. As part of training, we will also be conducting various training modules as in collaboration with Youth Energy Summit, which will be released in coming weeks. Then we also have DFI and ESA advisory services, where we support the different financial institutions in the procurement process, in their training, as well as supporting them in the loan application that they receive from sponsors. So this was just a general overview of the various services that we provide. We'll cover them in detail in the coming training session that we have organized. I think we have another session this week or next week, where we'll cover on the different verticals in details. This was just a general overview of the various services. As highlighted, we work across different sectors, not just energy sector, but we have a vast presence in different infrastructure sectors, in starting with conventional power, where we support on the fossil-based power plant. We also support on renewable power plant, including solar, wind, geothermal, biomass, and other projects. We also support a client on transport and logistic. Then real estate and housing is also one of the sector that we work on. We recently completed a project in Saudi Arabia for a residential project. We also support a client in education, metals and mining. Development advisory, as I highlighted, is one of the services that we provide, where we support a client in end-to-end project management. Then we also have verticals like district cooling, water, wastewater, where we have worked on number of projects both on the government as well as on the private side. Middle East is one of the geography where we have worked on number of projects in this sectors. We also support a client in healthcare, including hospitals and others. Oil and gas is also one of the biggest sector for us, where we support in both downstream as well as upstream. Then we also have IT as one of the sectors that we support our client, including data center. Green hydrogen is something that we started a couple of years back and have provided number of or have provided advisory services to a number of clients across different geographies, Egypt, Oman, and other places as well. And this is a sector that will focus more on in coming days. This just covers a general overview of the various countries that we have worked on. As highlighted, we work across different geographies. Middle East is one of the biggest sector, followed by Africa, Central Asia. We also have done projects in Europe as well as projects within US. For the work that we have done, we have been recognized by various international agencies such as PFI, which is one of the leading project finance international firm, and provides or which has an award ceremony every year, and we have won number of awards on the various projects that we have done. Recently, we have won a couple of awards in 2023, where we won Central Asian Deal of the Year for Sildaria 2, which is a CCGT project located in Uzbekistan. We also won a PPP Deal of the Year for a couple of STP projects that we have worked. We also won a Social Infrastructure Deal of the Year, which is a residential community that we built for NEOM in Saudi Arabia. We were also the financial advisor of the year 2020 as well as 2021, which was awarded by FCA, which is another agency which provides awards within Africa. Middle East, MBCA is an agency which provides awards and focused on Middle East. We were recently awarded as Financial Consultant of the Year in 2023 for a couple of projects, which was Mana Solar 1 and Mana Solar 2 IPP, which are located in Oman. We have also received a few awards from IG Global, and we are hoping to receive a couple of awards this year as well from different teams. Thanks, Jack. I think this is all about synergy. Over to you.
Look, it's just really, really interesting to hear more about, the global presence of the company and its sort of key offerings. So I think everybody's really interested in what Synergy does. And I think moving on from that, what would be really interesting is to understand what an associate director does. So if you could talk to us a little bit about the sort of the responsibilities of being an associate director at Synergy, I think that would be really enlightening for us.
So thank you, Jack. Thank you for that question. I will take that query. So before answering like what are the roles and responsibilities, I will just quickly introduce myself and also provide you a brief journey from when I started with Synergy. So I am an MBA in finance from MBA Gurgaon and have also done my engineering in electronics and instrumentation. I have an overall work experience in infrastructure space of more than 6 years now. I joined Synergy back in December 2018 as an associate. And preliminary, when I joined, my role majorly involved working on creating detailed financial models and presentations for the client. Presentations may have included in presentations where we have to, where client have to present this within the internal IC committee meetings or discussions with the lenders or different off-takers and sponsors. So all sort of presentations come under the purview when we started it. Gradually, my role moved on when within Synergy to more say on review and negotiation of project documents, where we were looking under the risk allocation framework under the PPAs, how it has been structured, what are the nitty-gritties, what we can propose to client, so that this is somewhere have a more balanced risk allocation, and also involved review of financing documents, which included the review of common term agreements, long form term sheets, facility agreements, and etc. At the same time, role also required that we lead discussions and negotiations with client and on behalf of client with say the other counterparties for the client, which may be say the lenders or the off takers. So that's what we the role also included. Now, after being promoted to an associate director, our responsibility and role includes like end-to-end execution of the project. It includes like preparation, leading preparation of all the deliverables, managing requirements of client, managing internal and external communication. We are being supported by a team who support us in like doing the different day-to-day activities of modeling, presentations, and etc. As an AD here at Synergy, one is also responsible for, say, different business development activities. We keep a track of different happenings around the world, what are the major developments that are taking place, and bring those happenings or say the developments to our present those developments to our clients if they would be interested in taking up these projects. We also prepare, say, the different proposals for the client, pitch proposals. So to understand what we are offering to our clients and how this might be aligned to their vision. As part of me being at Synergy for more than 5.5 years, I have worked in different say sectors, including renewable, conventional, water treatment, roads, etc. And I have been fortunate enough to say like I have also worked in different countries in Africa, such as Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, Mozambique, Kenya, Niger, etc. I also recently closed a deal in South Africa, which had like three cross 111 megawatt wind power project with Enel Green Power, which was also first of its kind project, where the off-taker was a CNI client. So this is like, yeah, what a day in life of an associate director looks like here at Synergy. Zach, over to you.
You got some. It's really, really interesting to hear about sort of your experience with Synergy and the various projects that you're working on, especially within Africa. I think, moving on from that, what I'd really like to know is, you've come so far in your career. You mentioned that you've been working for the company for over 5 years. Where are you looking to go next? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? And, professionally, how are you looking to develop yourself?
Thank you, Jack. So the next 5 years where I see is like say the roles might increase where we are currently leading a team of 4 or 5 members. The team would gradually move on to like having 8 or 10 members or 12 members within the team. And then we would be looking not only just in Africa, maybe we might be exploring new countries within Africa, which are say which are underserved right now. Maybe we might be looking for different opportunities, explore opportunities within Africa. And I guess the role will be more or less like say more people management and client management, rather than directly being involved in execution full time. So that might be the changes. Akhilesh, anything that you would like to add to this?
I think thanks, Gautam. I think it's not just personal, but as a company also, we intend to grow in the next 5 years. For as we highlighted in about Synergy, there are different sectors, different geographies. We have been working with Synergy for almost 8 years now, but I don't think we have covered, at least I have not worked on all the different sectors, different geographies. So the plan is always to work across teams, across sectors, across geographies. For Synergy also, we believe in expanding, and we have recently opened offices in different geographies, and we plan to do that in coming year as well. Offices as well as focus on different sectors as well as different geographies in the coming years. Thanks, Jack. Over to you.
You guys, it's really good to hear about the company's plans for expansion and the various things you're looking to do across the world. It's, yeah, definitely an interesting topic. I think to touch more on sort of our demographic of user base on the Beyond Privilege platform, I'd really like to know whether you guys had any recommendations for somebody who's maybe starting off in their career. You know, what are some of the various things that they can do to help professionally develop themselves?
Thank you, Jack, for that query. So, Jack, someone to say what they would have to do, I will just list down some of the skill set that we think is very important for a person who is planning to come up in, say, infrastructure or say energy space. First of all, we as Synergy, we are the financial advisor. We believe if someone wants to more delve into this space, they should be more or less very much passionate about finance. They should need to know that we as financial advisors, they would be working day in and out about around finance. Then, as Synergy is a front-end consulting firm, they should also understand that a lot of ownership is required when you are dealing on the front-end consulting side. So we need people who work with ownership and are the more responsible towards the towards completing the dedicated given tasks. At the same time, person should be very much dedicated towards the work that they are doing. They should be able to do smart work. They should be able to identify, say, this can be done in a like a quick manner, and this might be something which might be required by the client. A full knowledge of MS Suite would be very helpful if someone is asked what are the skill set that might be required. And if someone has a background in project finance, I would say that would be preferred to have a seat or say to join Synergy and explore the opportunity.
Gautam. Yeah, I completely agree with everything you're saying, and I think part of the collaboration between Beyond Privilege and Synergy is actually going to be helping the users on the platform to actually develop themselves professionally, and that sort of ties into the training courses that you guys are going to be providing. So I think it'd be really nice if you could, you know, give a little explanation as to some of the training that you're looking to do on the platform.
Sure, thanks, Jack. So basically, as part of Synergy's Academy, which we have recently started to provide training to our different clients, private as well as government side clients, we are also collaborating now with Youth Energy Summit to provide the different training courses that will be introduced in coming weeks. I think starting we will have the first session on introduction about Synergy or the various verticals that we have at Synergy. I think we briefly covered on the different services, but we'll cover in detail about our development advisory services, procurement advisory, PF, as well as M&A vertical that we have at Synergy. After that, we'll provide in detail about the basics of project finance as well as focus on PPP. Why is PPP important? Their objective as well as rationale for having a PPP project in any country. We will then go with sector analysis. We'll focus on one of the sector, which could be power, renewable, or the various sectors that we highlighted when covering about Synergy. There we will go into detail about the specific sector, giving an overview of that, how it looks like, the tariff structure, the risk allocation within that specific sector. After that, we'll give an introduction about project finance and how it basically differs from corporate finance. What are the nuances of the project finance, the various stakeholders that are involved in any deal of project finance. After that, we'll also cover a brief about how deal or how a project finance deal looks like, how this deal should be structured, various lenders that are involved in such type of deals. We'll also do a risk allocation and mitigation session where we'll cover the various risks that occur during development phase, the construction and the operation phase, and how these risks are mitigated. So maybe just to add, basically in project finance, you normally raise debt at a SPV level, which only has the infrastructure project associated with that. So there are a number of risks associated with that specific project. And when you have lenders involved in that, you need to ensure that the risk or the project that they're providing financing to, that project is bankable, and they can be sure that their debt will be covered through that specific project. We'll then also cover on due diligence, on the commercial due diligence, the again on the various risks and how those risks to be mitigated. So these are general sessions that we'll cover in coming weeks. And yeah, thanks, Jack.
Directly. So I'm really excited to actually, join these sessions and actually learn more about it because, it's definitely something that I could, develop in my own knowledge. I think we're going to move on to some questions from the chat. So I'll start off with this one. What are the main players in an energy project cycle, and where does Synergy fit in as a consultant?
So normally in a project finance deal, as I also highlighted, there is a special purpose vehicle that is created that normally is at the center of all the project agreements as well as financing agreements that are executed for any project finance deal. Then we have various project agreements that are executed. So for example, if it's a renewable power plant, you have a PPA or a power purchase agreement with one of the utility. And then you also, depending on the geography, there may be an involvement of government as well, which might be providing some kind of support in case the utility is not bankable. Then there might be a government support agreement which is provided directly by one of the ministry. You also have a transmission company involved, which signs a transmission connection agreement for the transmission of the power that is generated. Apart from that, you have a number of contractors that are involved in a project. So you have a EPC contractor that is involved in the construction of the during the construction stage for the construction of the project. You have an O&M contract that helps in the operation and maintenance of the different activities during the operation phase. And if it's a conventional power plant, you may have a supply agreement also with one of the with the fuel supplier. Apart from that, you also need to raise the financing for funding this project. So for financing, that comes either in the form of equity or in the form of debt. For equity, these are supported by the shareholders of the project, and for debt, we have financial institutions which provide the financing for this project. So as Synergy, we help in structuring the overall deal. We support in making or ensuring that the project is bankable across the different project agreements that are executed. We support our client in financial modeling to forecast the cash flows that would be there for a project. We also support our client in raising the financing, either from an equity perspective in raising or supporting the shareholders in raising their equity, or in raising the debt from the financial institutions. So we support our client on raising the financing. I think that's it. Gautam, you want to add anything to that?
No, Akhilesh, I guess you have covered most of the players that we work with in the infrastructure projects. Over to you, Jack.
Thank you for answering that, guys. It's really interesting to hear more. We've had another question come in which says, what are the major challenges facing the global energy sector, and what are the current trends in renewable energy development?
Thank you, Jack, for asking the question. So some of the challenges that we have seen that are being faced by the energy sector is, say, like lack of infrastructure support. We have seen in some of the countries in Africa that the country is not able to increase the power generation as the grid capacity is constrained. Although projects, there are developers who might be interested, but the grid constraints does not allow to add on more power. Then what we have also seen in countries is that the tariffs that are provided or that are being taken from the end users are not cost reflective. So the say the government utility is paying a higher tariff to the private developer than what they are collecting it from the end users. There is a very heavy reliance on subsidies, which we have seen. Increasing fossil fuel prices is another challenge in terms of then what energy sector is being facing right now. And when we say like how what's been moved right now, what's the current trend? We have seen a lot of move or transition towards, say, renewable energy, as a lot of countries are adopting a lot of renewable energy projects. They have also like set targets related to net zero or their carbon emissions, which they are trying to achieve with the support from renewable energy. And in terms of the trends, they have started like procuring more and more renewable energy projects related to wind, solar, wind plus battery, geothermal, or even hydroelectric. So these trends are going to say more and more intensify in the coming years, where we would see more country relying on procuring the power from renewable sources than from the conventional sources.
Gautam, we've had another chat come in, and I guess this is kind of a question for both of you, so you can give your own perspective. But how can I get into energy consulting?
Okay, so I will just take a first shot, and then maybe Akhilesh, you can add on to this. To get into energy consulting, what we see as a first and foremost requirement is like you need to have a very good communication, because a lot of work is required around dealing with your internal and external stakeholders as part of your consulting background or consulting requirements. At the same time, you should be able to understand what are the different, say, players that would be supporting in these projects, or the infrastructure projects. What are the different roles and responsibilities of say the off taker, the government utilities, the lenders, and how these work in tandem for the project. I guess most of the skill sets that I previously provided related to like having someone who is like able to work with a lot of ownership, has a passion for finance and everything, would be applicable here as well. So maybe Akhilesh, if you have anything that you would like to add.
No, I think Gautam, you have covered it. Thanks, Jack. Over to you.
Thanks, guys. I've got a really good question come in, so I'm going to ask this one. Why has the synergy model been so successful in Africa so far? Do you think the training synergy can provide will help young professionals grow in their roles?
Sorry, Jack, your first part of the question was not clear. Can you repeat that?
Sorry, let me repeat it. Why has the synergy model been so successful in Africa so far? And do you think the training synergy can provide will help young professionals grow in their roles?
Thanks. So, I think at Synergy, we have provided advisory services in Africa to one, or we started our journey in Africa around 15 years back, where we supported clients on first of its kind projects. So we started with Azura in Nigeria, which was the first project to happen in Nigeria. And then we also advised Sen Power in Ghana, which was again first of its kind project. So I think at Synergy we have done number of first of its kind projects across geography, and that's what is the requirement of Africa, considering there are a number of countries where there has not been much PPP that has happened. So that's what Synergy uh, brings in, basically dealing with complex infrastructure project, as well as our experience in different geographies that also help in growing within Africa, considering we work across Middle East, Central Asia, which are a bit different geographies as compared to Africa. So we bring in a lot of a lot of things from those geographies as well, which helps our client both on the private sector as well as on the government sector to enhance their projects. On the training, definitely this is something that will be helpful to understand more about the nuances of the project finance in general, as well as on the different infrastructure sector, on how or what are the or how the infrastructure sector looks like, how the deal basically happens in a project finance, starting from the conceptualization till financial close, what are the different risks that are associated. So this training will definitely be helpful for young professionals to understand the basics of project finance. Thanks, Jack.
Thank you, Akhilesh. I think we'll take one more question from the chat, which is, what are the three things to make a project bankable?
So I will add I will take this, Jack. So the three things that make a project bankable, I would say, first of all, very well balanced risk allocation in the project agreements. You need to see what are the risk that what are the different risk, and who is the entity that is able to take this risk. Is this appropriately allocated to that particular party? So all the risk allocations such that a party which is able to handle that risk in the most efficient manner should be catering to that kind of a risk. I think second is we how to make a project bankable. Lenders do check how what's the credit say looks like for the off taker. Is there any credit risk for the off taker? What are the different guarantees that are being provided by the off taker for different events? And if the public utility that say is the off taker, who is backstopping the payment guarantee for that particular public utility? This adds on to the advantage of say on terms of the project agreement. And I guess third thing is we all need to provide them a well balanced say when I say like from the financial model, the lenders need to see that their debt can be served within the time frame that they're looking for. There are sufficient buffers, or say in terms of DSCR, there are sufficient DSCRs that are being met. There are sufficient say costs that are being incorporated, and at the same time, everything that lenders need to see the model is providing them while making sufficient or say enough returns for the sponsors as well. So I guess these are the three things. Maybe Akhilesh, if you have something you want to add or elaborate.
No, I think that's covered it all. Over to you, Jack.
Really informative and insightful. I mean, it's really, really interesting to hear about what you guys are talking about, because it's very new to me, and I'm sure to many others, it's definitely an eye opener. Thank you very much for your time this morning, guys. It's been really great to hear about your experience and everything that Synergy does. The good news for everybody watching is Synergy are actually going to be doing a lot of training videos and webinars and workshops with us. So make sure you keep a lookout for that. And Gautam and Akhilesh, I'm sure everybody can connect with you on Beyond Privilege. I'm sure you have profiles and also LinkedIn. But yeah, thank you very much for your time this morning, guys. It's been great.
Thank you,
Thanks, Jack.
Jack, everyone.
Thank you,
And yeah,
guys. We'll see you in the training sessions.
Yeah.